Hi, my name's Carissa and welcome to another video. Today I thought I'd do my wrap up for September and my TBR for October. So in September I didn't read as much as I wanted to, which was a bit annoying. I'm in a bit of a weird reading slump thing at the moment. So if I get out of that, then hopefully I'll read the books I've planned for October. So I went on holiday in September and I read The Name of the Wind by Rothfuss. I really enjoyed this. The last act I thought kind of just was a bit boring and it kind of let the book down a little bit, but I did generally really enjoy this book. I believe I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and it was just because of the last act of it that it dropped down from a 5-star. I was very emotionally invested in this, and I do have a review up on my channel which I'll link somewhere. Basically this is about a guy called Castell who currently works as an innkeeper. A guy comes into his inn and is like, hey, I know who you actually are. So it's basically Castell telling his story of who he is, and it is really emotional. Like the 100th page mark, I was crying. I was like, this is too emotional for me. And it really is a coming of age story. I like the fact that you get the third person perspective of present day, but it's also a first person perspective of him telling the story. And I rated this 4 out of 5 stars, and yeah, The Name of the Wind by Rothfuss. So the next book I read was Traitor's Blade by Sebastien de Castell. I also have a review of this on my channel and I loved this book. It was just such an enjoyable read, and it's just kind of one of those books that feels like a movie in a way. You just really enjoy it and by the end of it it's like, I want more. It's about this guy called Castell and his friends Castell and Brent, and they're basically kind of like musketeers, although in this book they're called greatcoats. They've been disbanded and they now are bodyguards to a nobleman who is killed. And it kind of ends up being setting the events in motion, that they need to find a new job and they need to restore the name of the greatcoats. I really enjoyed this because it's just a story kind of about friendship. It's told from a first person perspective, and Traitor's Blade by Sebastien de Castell got a 5 out of 5 stars. So the next book I have is one I'm currently reading. This is the reason why I've only read 2 books this month, because I kind of am a bit stuck on this one, and it is The Blinding Knife by Brent. I'm really enjoying this one compared to the first one. The first one I thought was very slow and I was kind of a bit bored reading the first one, but this one I went straight into it and I was really enjoying it. I think the issue I currently am having is that I'm not reading it quick enough. I've been on this for a little while now. I've only got 200 pages left, but it's kind of the reason why I haven't really been reading, is that I'm just stuck on this book. But as I say, I am enjoying it. I think it's just because I'm taking too long to read it that now my interest is kind of waning off a bit. If you aren't aware of this series, this is the Lightbringer series. This is the second book of it, and it is basically about this guy called Gavin Guile, and he is the most powerful man in the world, and it's got this magic system in it in which you can use colours, and he has the use of all the colours, and he discovers that he has a son, and there's a lot of mysteries going on. In the first one something is revealed and it's like, ooh, this changes things. And it has a really powerful girl in there, Karis. She's like an amazing woman. I'm like, yes Karis, you do whatever you want. And Kip, his son, is really, really funny. And hopefully I'll finish this soon. So this is The Blinding Knife by Brent. So without further ado, let's just get to the TBR. So the first one I got is the sequel to Traitor's Blade by Sebastien de Castell, and it's Night Shadow. I've explained what Traitor's Blade is about, so this basically follows on from there. And I kind of want to get back into this world because I did really, really enjoy Traitor's Blade. So this is the first one on my TBR. So the next book I've got has been on my shelf for quite a while now, and it is Flashfall by Moyer. This was in the Fair Loot December box, and it was supposed to be like Red Horizon by Pierce Brown, and of course I love that book, so I need to delve into this before the second book is released. So this is about a girl called Orion, and she mines tunnels with her partner Dram, and some people arrive and it creates some issues. That is basically all I'm going to give away for this, and It sounds really interesting. I can understand why it's being compared to Red Rising because it has the tunnelling aspect of it. I've been wanting to read this since I got it, but I just haven't got round to it, so I'm hoping this month I can finally get to it. So the last book I've got on here is by Brent and Sanderson, and it is The Alloy of Law, and this is book 4 of the Mistborn series, but the first of the next trilogy. If you aren't aware of the Mistborn series, it is fantastic, and this one is much slimmer than its predecessors, which makes me very happy because I feel I need a quick book. He has such a beautiful way of writing, Brandon Sanderson, and I love this world. It is basically about people who can consume metals that give them certain powers, and you are a misting if you can only consume one metal, and with that you only get a certain power, and you are a Mistborn if you can consume all the metals and get all the powers with it. The first trilogy followed this girl Vin, and it was about taking down kind of the system, and this follows on years and years after it. I think hundreds of years actually, yeah, 300 years. So time has passed and we are granted with new characters exploring the world as well. I believe there is a character in this that was in the first trilogy. I believe Marsh is in it. I could be completely wrong about that, but I believe he's the character in it. And I really want to delve back into this world again. I just really loved it. So I can't wait to get back into it. So that's my wrap up and TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below if you've read any of these books or are planning to read any of these books. I've left my Goodreads down below, and subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time. Bye!